Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by Will Kaplan. I'm Steve Drost from Quivr, which is the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. Our objective at Quivr is super simple. How can we help you run your business at peak efficiency? Now, each episode, we're going to tackle a couple of cool items that came directly from Quivr users who are trying to make their life just a little bit easier. And Will, you had a really cool conversation with the user this week about Calendly. I want to hear more.
Yeah, Steve, good to see you. It seems like such a simple thing. And it's one of those, like, it's so obvious when you get to the other side of it, but it was basically a user wanted to be able to, from inside of Quivr, click a link to open up a scheduling window and not have to type in all of that information for the client. Like, they want the email addresses and the names and all that stuff to just be pre-populated. And I totally get where they're coming from. And I also love it because once that field's in Quivr, that means we can mail merge it places too. So like when you go to set up your schedule, like when you go to request meetings from clients, you can send them not just a Calendly link, but their Calendly link. So you never have to worry about them maybe mistyping an email either. So it's definitely something we wanted to take a look at.
I was going to say mistyping an email. I remember I made a mistake not too long ago. I spelled the person's last name wrong. And obviously I knew how to spell their name, but I just typoed it. I went too fast and I felt like an idiot. So
we're all human, right? Yeah, we're all human. So we dug in a little bit and it turns out you can do this and it's pretty cool. And we've created some instructions for the Quivr community so that all of our users can benefit from this great idea. And what I was going to show you today is just a little bit of like kind of what it looks like, how it works. And I think we can actually get it up, set it up here in just a couple minutes, which is fantastic.
Sweet. Couple minutes to save a lot of time and accuracy going forward. Let's see it. How do you do it?
Awesome. So let's dive into one of our demo environments really quickly so I can sort of show you not only what are we trying to do, but how this works. So right now I'm on a Quivr household. This is Jim and Pam Halpert. Most of our users are very familiar with them. It's a great test case. We've got our emails, and on each of these records, we've also got an informal name, which is that client's first name. So that's what we're going to use to build this thing up.
And those of you that are listening and not watching, all Will is showing you is basic personal information inside of Quivr. Nothing groundbreaking by any means.
And so one of the things I also love about Quivr is almost on all of our objects here, we've got this custom fields and data. We're going to be working with this today. This is where this Calendly link is going to show up for our users. Obviously, later, if you want to move it, you can. But for today, we're just going to leave it on custom fields and data. Okay, so let's get started. The way to do that is to jump into setup, which is this gear up here, and you're going to click setup. That spawns this window. And we're going to go to object manager, and we want to work on a household. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to come over here and navigate over to the household object. From there, I need to add a field. This is going to be my Calendly link field, and I'm going to click this new button. We're adding a formula because we need to build this up for each household. It has to change for each record in the system, so that has to be a formula. I'm going to call this my Calendly link, and I'm going to hit tab, which completes this field name. The only weird thing about these field names is you can't have any spaces in them. So notice it like stuck a little underscore there. And this is a text style field. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit because I've already built some of this stuff in the background. But again, like, this isn't going to take you a lot of time. You're going to be able to get to this thing pretty quickly. And so what I'm going to pull over here is basically the formula, the code that we need in order to make this work. Now, the one thing that I do have to edit is I got to fix this to where it's actually my Calendly URL. So I'm going to delete out this information. Please note that I did leave the quotation marks. That's really important. Don't delete out those quotation marks. Now I'm going to jump over to Calendly, which I've already got open, and I'm going to copy the Calendly link for the meeting that I want this to point to. In this case, I'm going to use my 30-minute meeting. Grab that link, jump back over into Salesforce, hit paste, and then hit paste again. So now I've got, we need to do, and that's it. Everything else is already pre-built. Now, if I wanted to add additional fields or if I wanted to pre-fill more information from Calendly, they have a really long list of things that you can update. So right now, all I'm pulling in is basically first names, last names, and email addresses. And that's going to give me enough to kind of get the core of this working. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second.
And then
from here,
somebody like you're way better than me when it comes to this type of stuff. And I was looking through the masterclass that you posted in the community that goes over this, and it is actually really simple. It's just copy paste and then go find that link and copy paste. So I was a little overwhelmed at first, and then I read it and it's like, oh, this is actually really easy.
Yeah, I tried to set this code up in a way that you don't really have to touch anything other than like these two areas right here. So it should be pretty simple. You can do a check syntax. This basically just runs to make sure that everything is okay on the code side. So I'm going to skip the checking syntax for today, just because I know that by copying over this code that it's good to go. And so now I'm just going to hit next. This is where I'm setting the field level security. I'm going to hit next again. I'm going to add this to all of our records here, but if you wanted it just to be on the clients, maybe you could do that too. So like as an example, like I'll just do this for right now, and then I'm going to click save.
So basically we've just copied a formula and then copied our Calendly link, hit next a bunch of times and hit save.
Yeah, I hit save twice. So now what we do is when we come back to the front end of Quivr and I hit refresh and I go down to custom fields and data, I've got this really fancy little Calendly link in here now. And what's cool about this is you'll see, here's the first part of it, but here's all that data that's going to get added. And so when I click on this, it's going to spawn my Calendly window. This is actually my real Calendly scheduling meeting. I can choose the day, choose a time. When I click next, what I want you to pay attention to is this data is already here. Jim and Pam Halpert, Jim's email address. Pam is automatically added as a guest. So in any situation where you've got that core contact and core contact 2, it's going to bring that data over. But our formula is also smart enough that if it's just core contact 1, it understands that. Then I can say, yep, this is a Zoom meeting, just like normal, and hit schedule, and it's going to schedule that meeting. So the beauty of this now, like we mentioned before, is I can either use that link from inside of Quivr, or I can use it as part of a mail merge into an email so the clients get that. And it's customized for each client. It's just a fantastic little feature.
Scheduling an email now, or scheduling a meeting email template will embed that specific link. So the user or the end client knows exactly what's going on. Will, this is really cool. I also think this is a great example of little things that you can do combined because Quivr is built on top of Salesforce, right? I always tell people, and you hear me say it, we can't tell you no. If you want to do something, there is a way to do it. But that's a wrap. I mean, that was really cool. If you're a Quivr user, remember, join us on Wednesdays for office hours where we can help you with similar items. And if you're not a Quivr user, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But remember, it's not too late. Go ahead, schedule a demo. Come meet us, come see us, and let us show you what Quivr can do for you.